Guest with us because our fearless leader, Grant, he's running late, right?
He's running
late. Let's just put it out there. Miami traffic is back, right?
Yes.
We're going to blame it all on Miami traffic.
Yes.
So we have a special guest with us. Michael here. Michael Miller is with us, and Mayor Tim Meerbot from the town of Cutler Bay. Welcome, Mayor Meerbot. It's good to have you here.
Good morning. It's great.
It's always good to see you on a bright, early, gorgeous Tuesday morning, right?
Gorgeous Tuesday morning.
Picturesque.
And Grant is actually stuck in traffic. I know it's hard to imagine, but he's in South Dade, all right, trying to make his way up to South Miami. Does that sound familiar?
Yes, I was just there. If he had left when I left, he would have made it on time.
There
So I know what it's like trying to get north from the south. It's I leave an extra 15 minutes early. In the beginning of all this COVID-19 and shutdowns and everything, the one good thing about it was traffic was very manageable. But it's all coming back.
Yes.
And I was just talking to someone from the GMCVB not too long ago, and they're like, they had their helicopters and they count the cars and all that kind of stuff. I said, we're pretty much so back to normal. And I'm like, this is without cruises still and things of that nature. It's like,
I don't know if we're quite normal yet.
And I don't think we're quite there yet. You know, a new normal. We're at our new normal. Well, Mayor Meerbot, it's great to have you.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
How's life? Happy New Year.
Life is different now.
Yeah, it's different. Talk to us about life different in town of Cutler Bay.
I was just thinking about it on the way here. You know, when COVID first started, it was like a strange world, but there was kind of a positive feel because you see people out walking and you know, families together out on the street. It's like, oh, this is kind of nice. But after about 5 or 6 months of it, it's kind of like, wow, this is getting really old really fast. Can't wait for this to be over so we can get back to go back to the old normal rather than the new normal.
Exactly. So, I remember that date exactly. It was March 16th because the next day was my birthday and is on the 17th on St. Patrick's Day. And we were drinking a beverage that was green. I'll leave it at that. And that was the last night that the favorite place that I love to go to in Homestead, it closed down, never to reopen again. Wow. And my heart is broken over that. And especially a lot of the businesses that are either struggling or they're non-existent anymore. And Michael and Grant, I don't know if you know what they've done behind the scenes. Michael was just telling us about a brand new studio that they have. And we have found some of the people who've really done the best through this situation. They've been able to shift on a dime. Right. That they've been able to either retool, rethink, reimagine, something in order to take what was and now what is and what can be in the future. And talk a little bit about what you've done with the studio and with newspaper and now all of this stuff.
So one of the things we realize in life, you have to take care of your current business and then you have to build the future business that you're going to be in, all right? Because businesses don't stay the same. And I think a perfect example is when McDonald's first opened up 50 years ago, it was a family dining inside. And then they figured, okay, then they started doing walk up and takeout. Mm-hmm. And then, so the drive-through. Now, drive-throughs at Burger King and McDonald's right now is something in the 85% range. Mm-hmm. There's some McDonald's that are completely closed. All they do is the drive-through. So they're taking care of that business, but there is another business for them in 5 years from now. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that business is, but we know we're in the communication business. We create content, whether it's stories that go in the newspaper or on the newsletter or in print, or whether it's videos. So we know that the demand is very, very high, all right? And people like it, all right? And they enjoy it, and we can distribute it very quickly. For instance, this right now is being distributed
very
people,
quickly.
And typically these things have an immediate lifespan of a week to 10 days, and then they sort of go into hibernation for a while, and then people can go into archives.
There's a new edition. There's a new edition. Yes. Every weekly edition.
Yeah. And our viewers, the people that watch us, when we put that together with the stories that we do in print and on the newsletter, they get a wide range of topics, and from this, just from what we do in here, we have a show, we have psychologists that come in, we have doctors, we have politicians that come in, we have a show called Race to the Top, that's for people of color, we have a show for gay, lesbian, transgender, and I want to tell a funny story. There was this beautiful lady that's sitting right where the mayor's sitting, and I'm looking through it, and I said, oh, I come in, I go, your hair is beautiful, right?
Like mine.
Yeah, long platinum. And I walk over and I said, just magnificent hair. And then I go back to it and I said, there's something wrong with the face. It doesn't match. And then she held up her hand. I realized it was a transgender. That was the show that day. And so in support of that, the host brings in the psychologists and the teachers that can help people live the life that they want. We have multiple shows, and the demand is very, very, very high.
He really is, isn't it?
And you were the one that kicked off for the Chambers of Commerce. So, and you were the one that traveled, Kerry, the farthest.
Yes.
Right.
We always do, right?
Almost.
Especially me.
And when we looked at it, and said, if she's willing to do that, so the message of community
for our members and
yes,
for the community.
And to bring this up in the last few weeks, you brought some people that were in the armed services, and it was great to do that. And so now we're joined by 4 other chambers. So that's because you set the model for that.
And that's really all Grant's fault. And if I could interrupt, because I have a very short-term memory issue. You mentioned something about videos. And one of the things that really prompted us to make sure that we got Mayor Meerbot on sooner than later was I saw a video that Mayor Meerbot is in. Now he's his own famous person down there as well. Is it Go Connect or Connect Go?
Go Connect.
Go Connect. Can you talk to us about Go Connect? I thought that was fascinating.
Yeah.
Just fascinating.
You know, we've been trying to look for ways to go ahead and facilitate transportation in the South End, make it easier for our residents to get to work, get to the grocery store, or wherever it may be. And way back, we started a circulator bus with the county going all or so. But recently, we just partnered with the county to do a Go Connect, which is a ride sharing service, much like Uber, but it's free. And anybody, you can download the app.
All age citizens?
All age citizens. Anybody wants to use it, you can just download the app, and just like Uber, you might have to, Uber will pick you up at a certain spot. This might ask you to walk, 3 or 4 houses down to the corner or something like that. But it'll take you to the busway. It'll take you to the grocery store. It'll take you to a restaurant. It'll take you anywhere within in Cutler Bay. It's completely safe. It's a van. It's not a golf cart. And really want to encourage folks to use it. It's just an easy way to get around town, and especially for elderly folks that may not be driving. It's really a boon for them because if they just need to go to the grocery store, it's a real easy pick up, drop off, pick up, and drop off again, and it's completely free. So it's a great service for our residents.
And will this be ongoing indefinitely, or is it just in this time period that we're in right now?
It's going well. Indefinitely is a strange word. We got a grant, $195,000. Speaking of grant, that's really good.
There's Grant.
Speaking of grant,
I thought I heard. So Kerry, I'm out, man.
Hey,
Mayor, it was nice. By the way, you got a great town. Congratulations.
Yes, he does.
Miller,
yes,
you're on.
I thought there was food here.
I know, right? That's why he's racing, because he thought, Tommy, did you tell him there was food here? I told you next week.
I raced here from Cutler Bay. I was down at
It
Cutler Bay.
wasn't because of us. It was because I
Right.
told you, way to their hearts is food, bringing food to them, and then whatever you want, you get. So welcome. It's good to have you here. Thank you for joining us today, Grant.
You happen to be sitting one of the greatest mayors in Dade County,
I know.
but more important that I don't want to blow
he's
smoke
here.
up his thing. That he's homegrown,
Yeah.
and he's a true ridge rat.
Mhm.
When this is before your time, and people were a little insulted, they were called ridge rats. And when Cutler Bay incorporated, it empowered the word ridge rat, didn't it? It's like people now, the baseball teams have ridge rats. It's like it's proud.
Our fire department, or the closest fire station, has ridge rat on the back of their truck.
Oh, I love it.
It is because Cutler Ridge and the bridge, and it's Tim and I gone all the way back. They're rebuilding Frangio Park. It would never be the same. I mean, it's going to be upgraded, really top of line. But we all used to go to that concession stand that was beaten up, the ice chest, and
I used to work in that thing many years.
right. But
dating us.
No, but I'm saying it was beaten up. The fields were beaten up, but it was home. I mean, we played tournaments there, and it was 3 fields, and people on field 1 whose kids were on, they're watching field 3, and field 2's watch. Everybody, right, Tim? Was beautiful, wasn't it?
We had a big family, so sometimes we'd have family members playing on all 3 fields at the same time. So it made it really easy.
So who's the athlete of the family?
Who's the athlete? I don't know if we have one in our family.
Hey, he was telling me all about his past in baseball and football and coaching and
so
for his kids. And,
when at Prime, your mother was
my mom was the commissioner of softball,
right,
and my father was the treasurer of baseball
forever.
And they coached every year as well, just like I coached for every year. So I followed in their exact footsteps, except for the commissioner part. But put my kids through there and coached every season possible.
Yeah,
and now he's just coaching a whole city. Basically, a whole municipality.
And I was with a program called Howard Palmetto. I grew up playing it like Tim. I'm a little older, but I played, I managed, I coached, I was president. And there's no better feeling. And the really the rivalry from Howard Palmetto and Prime was like a love fest.
It's like the SEC. It's like SEC. So it's just like that.
Yeah, just like Alabama.
Just like that, and Auburn.
It was neighborhood ball, and it was, I was telling Kerry, when I was coaching, I used to tell folks that, the chances of you going on to professional baseball from Little League is slim to none. College is not very often, and even high school ball is rare. But I said, I used to tell people, I said, listen, if you think that your son's going to be the next Major League Baseball player, I'm the wrong coach for you. Okay?
Put him on a different team.
Do is just
our motto.
We talk about the expectations up front, right? No.
My motto when I was president of Howard Palmetto, we don't make baseball players, we make baseball owners. But the truth be told, Prime do have quite a few great players that gone to the next level.
Major League players,
We've named some of them.
Rick Bahena. Let's see. Andre Dawkins was down there helping out coaches, things like that.
Here's a great one. I won't tell you who it is yet.
Junior Amion?
No, I won't tell you. He was a quarterback. Don't say the name at Palmetto. And his football coach said to him, give up baseball. He was a quarterback. He threw lefty and righty. The football coach said, give up baseball. Well, he got drafted out of high school, and he's still in Major League Baseball. Tom Foley.
Yeah, Tom Foley. And Jeff Gray also. Actually, I played with Jeff Gray. There's probably like 6 or 7 Major League Baseball players that came in.
But Foley still played.
Still playing, right.
Coach, he's the third base coach for, I call him the Devil Rays, but they call him the Rays.
And, we can't forget about Freddie, who, went on and coached for the Marlins and coached for the Braves.
Freddie.
Freddie Garcia. Yeah.
Well,
not Garcia, Gonzalez.
Gonzalez.
Okay,
God, you guys.
This
Garcia,
is the thing about,
come on, get him.
This is the thing about
Just under
South Dade,
pressure,
Miami
Freddie
Dade,
Gonzalez,
is that we have an unfair advantage in that we can be training our folks morning, noon, and night, 365 because the weather down here. I mean, set aside a day or two of putting up shutters for a window, then bring them back down again because of a hurricane. Other than that, we have this great advantage that we can always be outdoors every day.
Cutler Bay is the home of might be the most powerful youth football program in the country. Palmetto Raiders.
Palmetto Raiders.
The Mr. Moss, he's been. I think he was born there, and he's going to die there. But
we have a state championship out of them every year from one of their levels. At least.
Or national championship.
National champion.
And they play all the games on that park, or they play.
They play all their games. They're splitting it up at our Bel Air Field is where they played most of their games. Was right across the street from Holy Rosary.
I remember as a kid playing at Franjo.
Yeah.
And that was the most scariest. You go in there and this is youth football. And it was like, it was mobbed. I mean, thousands, right?
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah. That's what I spent my life.
Mike Riley's dad. Oh, yeah. I'm still Mike scared Riley. Of him. I'm still scared of this guy. And I remember we were scrimmaging and a kid named Detroit Mitchell, he played. Now I'm 64, so it's a few years old. And I remember a scrimmage, and Detroit Mitchell was beating me like a drum at practice in a scrimmage. So I finally get him down, and got down and dirty with him. Got a little rough with him. Coach Riley came over to me and stepped me on my toe, and he was like, I thought he was like 8 foot tall, but he was probably 6'5", and pointed at to me and started yelling at me. So ever since that was like in 1964 or 5. Every time I see the father, Mr. Riley, I go, "Hello, Mr. Riley." "Yes, coach." "Yes, coach." I'm still scared of him.
There's a reason why we had to start having these agreements with parents, to sign with the coaches. Like, I will not, I will not. I will not get in your way.
You mentioned the championships and the owners, but really, that really wasn't about making champions or making owners. It was really about making friends. I tell everybody, people like Hooter, I played with.
His birthday was a couple days ago. Happy birthday, Hooter!
Happy birthday!
But people like him that I've known my entire life now. We're friends because we started playing.
I don't like him anymore. He moved. He moved upstate, right?
He's still a Ridge vet, though. You can't.
It's written in his chest. But there's a perfect example, Hooter. As a kid, the kids I played baseball with, I'm still friends with.
Right.
From Howard Palmetto, and you're still friends with the guys in Prime.
Right.
Who else were we buddies with?
I mean, there's so many. I mean, Tom Curry.
Jeff Curry's brother?
No, different Curry.
all right.
But Jeff Curry coached there as well. I mean, he played there. I mean, it's hard to go on and on about just it seems like all my friends were ones that I met at the baseball field or a football field.
So have we talked about South Dade Chamber?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Are there new members or new
You
trustees?
were late, so you don't know.
New
You
trustees?
had no idea. Yeah, we have a new member.
Who?
Fatima from Caldwell Banker is a brand new member of our chamber. I would love to talk about a little bit, if you don't mind, because I want to get back to the community side of Town of Cutler Bay. I mean, you guys do community so well. Since he brought it up.
By the way, thank you for bringing up the village manager. He's underpaid, but we won't get into that. I won't talk about it on our network, but he is underpaid.
Listen, you know what? He was by far the best town manager in all of South, actually in all of Florida.
Yeah.
He does a great job. All of our staff is top notch.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason that Cutler Bay was ranked one of the most efficient governments in all of Florida. Out of the 90 cities that compared, we were number one.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
He's a big part of that.
Mm-hmm.
That entire staff's a big part of it. So, the Cutler Bay residents can be really assured that, number one, we got a great town manager. We make good fiscal decisions, and we're doing everything we can to move the city forward without breaking the bank.
Wait, next question.
Right. So,
before we get this out there.
Yes.
This is, I don't know. I'm born here. Why is Cutler Bay like in a circle?
Why is it
all the streets, they're named after countries, presidents. Who decided that?
Cutler Bay is surrounded by canals, basically. So, when you start building roads, you got to obviously go along the canal routes. So I guess it just made sense for them to continue the design to start with the edge and work your way in. Eventually, you got to start circling around someplace.
Okay.
Have you seen the new community guide that we put out?
Yes, I did. I see that
do
beautiful.
You recognize that picture?
On there?
Yeah,
yes, I do.
yeah. So this is one we have to do. This is a great representation of all of South Dade, but especially in Cutler Bay. So it's really, really fun stuff. So speaking of community, right to your west is a whole nother community, the farming community, the agriculture community, and it's called the Redland. We talk about them almost every single South Dade shout out that we have. Excuse me. We are finally going to be able to do our spotlight on the Redland. It's going to be on February the 11th, and it's going to be at the beautiful historic RF Orchids. Have you ever been to RF?
Yes, I have.
Okay. We love Bob. We love this gorgeous place and what he's done. Just started this small little shop for orchids and first selling them on the side of the street with his mom. I'm pretty sure is the story, or his grandmother, I think. And today he is a world-renowned orchid specialist. I mean, he travels all over the world. He gets calls from all over the world and asking about orchids. And we're going to have, we're going to be under the Grand Cheeky Hut over there.
Right.
And they have two. And we'll have Bill Hansen. He's going to be there. He is a nationwide renowned caterer. He's moving a lot of his business down into the Redland, down to our area. He highlights Redland raised produce. So he's going to have Chef Dewey, who was here just about, 6 weeks ago, Grant?
Yes.
Grant, you over there? About 6 weeks ago, Chef Dewey gave a beautiful presentation, all things Redland raised produce. So he's going to do another cooking demonstration. We'll have a couple of samples of what he's going to be doing there. We have Charles Pratt. Charles, I know I've asked you. You haven't called me back yet. Let me know. Are you going to be the one talking about these Redland ordinances? And just like Town of Cutler Bay, one of the reasons I believe one of the reasons to incorporate was to ensure the best things about the Cutler Ridge, now Town of Cutler Bay, would stay intact. Right. And that it just wouldn't, you talk about community. Well, the Redland has its own community as well. And it's the whole entire western corridor of all of Cutler Bay, Homestead, Florida City. And we have these gorgeous venues out there, a lot of ag tourism going on. But we also had to get these ordinances to get passed. It took about 3.5 years. And you know how all that goes. Charles is one of the key people on helping to put together these ordinances so that we could keep the feel and the Redland experience intact. You don't want just anybody going out there and just opening up their home and saying, here, pay me $45 per person, come and have a party here, and we'll call it a Redland experience. That's not really what we're looking for. So he worked with the commissioners at that time. He worked with who was then Commissioner Danielle Levine Cava, now our mayor at that time, Commissioner Moss as well, putting those things together. Some of our business owners as well in the community, like what's best for our community. So we're going to do the spotlight on the Redland like we did a spotlight on South Dade. Remember, back in the day before COVID. And it's going to be over there. It's going to be on the 11th. It's going to be from 4 to 7. And we hope that you can join us and come out there and talk all things, because it just creates the whole western corridor, like the western door for, I was just at Patch of Heaven as well, which is very close to Cutler. Have you been there? They're another member of the chamber. gorgeous, gorgeous sanctuary. You gotta go out there. They actually do like Friday and Saturday tours where you can pay, and it's a sanctuary, so it's a nonprofit organization. Your $20 goes to help maintain this gorgeous. It's the original Matheson hammocks. The Mathesons originally owned that, and they have some historic homes on there. It's just yet again another place in the Redland that you have no idea is out there until you go out there and you see it.
I'll have to take advantage of it. Like I said, usually I only go to RF Edwards orchid shape on like the day before Mother's Day.
Exactly. Valentine's sometimes, but yes, day before. It's very busy that time of year. So everyone come on out. We want to have you there. We want to, just like Town of Cutler Bay, we want you guys to see the best of what we have, and we want to maintain that. So talk to me about when I first met you, and I met a town manager first, and he was already on his second cup of Cuban coffee. And so what normally is an hour-long meeting took like 13 minutes, and we were done. We were out of there. That's how fast he's moving. And we talked a lot about community. We talked a lot about how you've made it a very friendly community for senior living, and how that has really enhanced the whole entire community as a whole. So talk to me about it. You were in the very beginning stages of creating the charter, yes?
Yeah, we actually I wasn't on the original charter committee back in 2005, but I was one of the first councilmen.
Yes.
On board. And one of the things that we did do for the elderly, I started an initiative, Communities for a Lifetime, which really focusing on, as your seniors age, are going to make sure that you have the things that they need so they don't have to move away, that they can stay in their community and continue their lifestyle. There's changes, where they live, things that happen. But we started back in 2009, 2010. Vice Mayor Sue Ellen Noiselle, who just termed out, took that and ran with it. And we were one of the only communities in South, actually in Florida and in the Southeast United States that are, it was a Community for a Lifetime's designated city. And it's just simple things, making sure we have transportation for them, making sure that the streets are safe for them, making sure that there's activities that we can do for them. And that's one of the things I love about Cutler Bay. Difference between Cutler Bay now and Cutler Bay before we incorporated. The county had very little events, for the South End. We have like 12 events a year now, pre-COVID. We have chili cook-offs, we have 4th of July, we have senior games. I mean, we have so many things that we do now for the community to come out.
Why do you said senior games? You looked at me. But that chili cook-off. You say it's South Dade, but the truth of it, people come from all over for that.
Yeah, it's Cutler based, but like I said, we have people. We're a golf cart friendly community. That's one of the things I'm proud of. I started that initiative a long time ago. I said, hey, let's have golf carts here, and it's just taken off now. And actually, Palmetto Bay's trying to increase that a little bit more. But people were trailering their golf carts from Homestead and other areas to Cutler Bay to participate in our holiday parades and our Halloween parades. And it's like this is crazy. When we had 500 golf carts running through our streets for a holiday parade, and people lined up like it's a Macy's Day Parade along there.
It's like a Harley.
If you've never been, you need to go. You will be amazed that you talk about old town community feel when people are just in their front yards having parties and hundreds of golf carts driving by, and just the spirit of the holidays. Just everybody's smiling and happy, and there's not a better thing to do for the holidays than to bring community together. That's just amazing.
You have a new county commissioner, Danielle Cohen Higgins.
Yes.
Maybe we could talk to her about that one road that's the most important road in Cutler Bay that golf carts are not allowed on.
87th Avenue going down to Black Point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've already talked to Alice Bravo. I said, listen, we got.
But she's retiring.
She's retiring. So before you go, can you just do us
one last thing, Alice? One last thing.
So if you're in any of the streets in Cutler Bay, if it's 30 miles an hour or less, you can actually drive a golf cart on it now. Ernie Soshin went up and lobbied the state legislature.
His birthday was just last week, 85 years old.
Right. So now you can go anywhere. But the 87th Avenue is 35 miles per hour. And I've been advocating drop it to 30 for a couple of reasons. Number one, we have a lot of bicyclists on there on the weekend. And
it is a huge bicycle lane.
It's a huge bicycle lane.
So all you need to do is
slow it down 5 miles per hour, and we can take golf carts.
Wait, who decides that? The county commission or
the county commission?
Come on, that's ridiculous.
I don't want to say there's ridiculous.
No, ridiculous. We can't get a pass. Well, we can't get a pass.
I want to respect the everything that they do, Alice and the entire department. makes good decisions. We really enjoy working with him. You know, I'd like him to explore that a little bit more.
Got to see good or what?
So, but if we
Kerry, is
just
he
get
good?
that-
He's really good.
He said,
Yeah,
let's
he's very-
explore it.
yeah.
It's all his coaching days, working
Yeah.
with parents.
There you go. There you go. So yeah, if we get that changed, and you know, it's kind of funny. When I was running, there's a couple things I wanted to accomplish in Cutler Bay, and I've done almost all of them except that one, and that's the hard one because
That's the easy one. That's all. That's
No.
all you need done.
That's all.
There's one other thing. There's,
Okay,
you
is that a state road or a county road?
that is a county road.
Okay, so it's up to the traffic people just reduce it.
Right.
Mhm. So
Palmetto Bay gets and these cities get everything reduced. Why can't that street? Don't worry.
no,
Tim's
well, I was
on-
told we had a hard stop. I want to make sure that we
But
don't.
I have
you know,
to bring. I
get the
have to
hook.
circle back one more thing about Prime baseball. In the heyday, no other baseball program in Southeast United States would have it. They had a parade that go through the whole town.
And I'm going to bring that back. I want to bring that back.
That it's like
That-
everybody was jealous. Every program in Dade County and Broward, they couldn't do it. But the
Open
Ridge
Day
Rats,
Parade.
they just give them a reason to party. Bam.
Listen,
Oh, it's
that's-
Tuesday.
That's
It's,
patently
hey, it's time
false.
to have a party.
Right.
That's patently false. We don't need a reason.
Right.
Okay. We're just going to.
Yeah, we're just going to do it. We're going to
We're just
get
gonna
together.
do
We're
it,
going to do it. So I like that when he said we don't need a reason. And Mayor Meerbot especially worked very hard, diligently with a very special task force that we put together called the Military Housing Task Force. Can you tell them a little bit about it? Why it's so important that we have affordable housing for our military as well, and that we keep on. We're still we take 2 steps forward and we hit a wall.
Right.
And then we finally break through that wall. We could not have broken through several of them without your assistance, your input, your advice, your sponsorship of it. Tell about the value of why it's so important to have affordable housing for military, and just why it's so important to have military in your community and making sure that you're addressing their very special needs that they have.
You know, number one, we all know that the military is the only thing that keeps us free in this country is our military.
Got it right there.
Without a doubt. So they are our freedom, and we have to rely on them. And when I was first elected, a lot of the members of the community said, what can we do to support the military? And quite honestly, I was a little clueless on how we could help. I know there's the Military Affairs Committee was in Homestead, and so I reached out to Colonel Piferero and I said, "Do we need to start a Cutler Bay Military Affairs Committee? How can we help?" And he goes, I really don't think you need that. We could probably just incorporate you into it. But one of there's 2 things that are our enlisted men are struggling with: housing and schooling. So if we can make any of those things easier for us, we would appreciate that. So that's when I said, all right, well, what are the things that are hindering them to housing is, a lot of enlisted men don't have $6,000 to plop down for first, last,
Or
security
more.
and deposits or more. So, working through that with it, all right, let's see if we can get the banking community or the real estate community to come together and get a little coalition and waive those things for military members. We started working with you, and then boy, you guys just took off and ran with it.
Yeah.
And said, so now to the point where we did put forward a proclamation from Cutler Bay to support that, and now it looks like a lot of other cities in Dade County are jumping on. And from I guess from our last meeting, you're saying it's starting to take off statewide.
Yes.
So
yes.
small idea. We're started at the theater and down in Homestead talking to Colonel Piferero. Now
I remember that.
And it's really important because, again, if these folks are worried about, risking their lives to protect our freedom, the least we can do is make their lives here a little bit easier.
A little bit easier.
Especially for their families. They're some of them may be going off over, Colonel Hooter just went off to Afghanistan.
Yes, exactly.
There's so many others that are going off and leaving their families behind. Let's make it easier for them to find housing, make it easier for them to get into the schools when they have to transfer, make it easier for them to get jobs.
Exactly.
All those things that support them in any way, because God knows they're giving a lot for us. The least we can do is just give a little effort on our part.
And that is so well said and so well put. And we don't realize, if we'd never been in the military, my father was in the military, but it was before I was ever born. My husband's father was in the military before he was ever born. And just knowing, like I said in the past, that my husband and I would do these relationship courses and marriage conferences for the special forces. And you really get to learn, when you're a whole weekend in a hotel, in a ballroom, that kind of thing, and you're having these different sessions, you have the, between breakout sessions and things like that, and you get to know them one-on-one, and how it really hit me hard. And this is about 5 years ago now, how I was talking to one mom, and they had moved like 8 times in the last less than 12 years. That's a lot. We moved 3 times. We moved 6 times in 3 years when we first were married. And that was hard, internationally as well. And coming back, that was really rough. And she was saying how important it is to have their pet be able to go with them wherever they go, because their pet is like their stability.
Right.
And when they come over here, sometimes they have to stay in a hotel, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe up to a week before their house is ready for them and that kind of thing. And they need a hotel they can stay in that is pet friendly, that allow them to have the pets. And it was like, that had never even occurred to me. And that began something inside of me, said, what more can I be doing? And then I became the CEO of the chamber. And then this whole task force came up, and this was brought up before. It was before Colonel Pifferario, who's now General Pifferario. It was before General Sontag, when he was at Sock South. He brought the same thing to us as well. What can we be doing? And the timing was right. The energy was right. The need has been there for, 2 decades at least, if not longer, ever since they were no longer living on base, is basically what it boils down to. Out of all of this, out of the task force, and recognizing and embracing the fact there are these 3 real needs. I don't know if you saw it last week, but we put out a press release where General Garfield, who used to be one of the commanders there before General Pifferario, he is going to be like an advisor to us, to our executive committee. We have started now a whole Office of Military Affairs. We have the Regional Coordinating Committee, which will address these very 3 specific needs that they have: housing, education, and the spousal employment. And I was just on a phone call with Marnie from the U.S. Chambers Hiring Our Heroes Foundation, and they have a whole new initiative that I didn't know anything about. So next time we have a military call, she's going to be on there talking about that as well, and where we can really be. We're going to work with a new, really big company that's coming in that starts with an A, coming into the South Dade area.
Amazing.
And they're amazing.
Touche.
And
That was good.
that's awesome. And they have a very strong hiring military spousal initiative and program within their own organization. So we're going to work with them later on today. I actually have a call with one of those folks, a couple of them, about what can we be doing before this place is even opened up, to make sure that our military spouses transitioning military. They have a great program for them where they're do a fellowship program. I'd love to see that come down here as well.
Right.
Some of our larger organizations as they transition out. When you've been in the military for 20, 30, some of these guys 40 years, and all of a sudden now you have to go back to working as a civilian in the civilian world, it is like night and day.
Imagine.
And we want to be there to be a part of this. That's why we started the Office of Military Affairs. We have the Regional Coordinating Committee, and we still have our Military Affairs Committee as well. We're all going to work together and
Cutler Bay wants
see
to
this
be a
happen.
part of that as well. Again, I wasn't sure how we could help them.
Oh.
And actually, one of our councilmen, Roger Coriat, at our last meeting, said, I think we should probably start a military affairs committee. And I realized then that I haven't really been sharing with them any of the involvement that our town's been in. And, we need to do more of that. But any way you think that we can get more involved as a town, let us know. And we want to go ahead and participate it. And I'm going to do a much better job of sharing with the rest of the council and the rest of our town, that we are involved. And we can get involved more, and maybe if they want to reach out to see how they can help as well, they can.
That'd be great.
Go through us or just go directly to you.
Thank you. We really do appreciate that. And our goal is just to collaborate. We know what we can do and what we can't do. And with these collaborative partnerships, you can get so much more done, so much more efficiently in a timely manner as well.
Coalitions are my favorite words. I love them. I've been pushing that since I've been in office.
I love it. I love it. So, Grant.
Well, I am.
Welcome back.
I am working very hard to make sure that we move forward on 87th Avenue. I didn't realize.
So while you're working on that, back to we have
some
shout outs right
Yeah,
here.
we got to do some shout outs.
We've got
talk
some
about trustees. Got to
So-
talk about members.
Speaking of trustees, we have 2 on the line right now. We have Ron Leonard. He's a former Navy. He's with U.S. Health Advisors. He joined up with the chamber about a month or so ago. He lives in the Redland. He moved out of Coral Gables and into the Redland area with his family.
He didn't move
Redland
out.
neighbors.
No, he moved up.
He moved up. He moved out.
No, he moved to the next level.
Yes.
There's Gables, and then there's Redland. Right. Come on. That's
love
God's
this guy.
country, right?
Yeah, he says, I love the Redland. So that's what he's on. So Fatima is on as well. She's our brand new member. Hi, Fatima. Hi, a realtor with Caldwell Banker, and I'm a new member, so I'm so excited to be a part of this family. We're thrilled to have you as part of our family as well. We have Lisa Greer from Center State Bank. There's
Lisa,
some of our
yeah.
best trustees ever. Julie Romero. We got to give a shout out to Julie Romero as well. She's up more towards your way. She's a VP of the bank up there in that area of Center State Bank.
That's
Super
actually my bank.
military.
Yeah.
Super military friendly. She actually, a year ago in May, she did, because May is Military Appreciation Month. And so she hosted a mixer for all of the folks. And they have their own checking program called Something Heroes. Something Heroes. Lisa, if you're watching, can you please text me or go on here? It's they have Something for Heroes, and it's for military, it's for nonprofits, first responders. They have very special checking program just for our heroes that live here in the South Dade community. So we have a great community, don't we?
Yeah, we do. You know what? You didn't mention sapphire in the red list now. It's not agricultural, or is it? I guess
It's aquaculture.
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 Yeah, my son actually got a job out there.
Oh, did you
hey!
really? So,
Is he still on
no
payroll?
reason why they can't become members of the chamber now. They're still not members, so we're
Okay,
working
well,
on that. So
we'll
work
have-
on him
we'll
and
bring him over
Atlantic
then. So, yeah.
Sapphire. You're on the spot.
Yeah, he did an internship there, and then after he graduated college,
How old is
What's he
now?
do? What's he do there?
He's my son is 23.
Okay.
He just graduated with a degree in chemistry, and I guess he
Wait.
he
Cool.
tests the
Wait,
food. there.
chemistry. Do you know how to spell it?
No.
Okay.
So, but he tests the fish food.
He knows how to
stuff
make
like
things
that.
blow up.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Whatever like that. And I do have to say, so he's going to be a father in the next 2 weeks. Something about
Oh, congratulations.
Wow,
grandfather.
congratulations.
Yeah. So yeah, got married a year ago, and he's having a baby already. And
COVID baby?
So
Yeah. Everyone says COVID babies.
Well,
Kinda like
listen,
New Year's Eve babies.
South Dade Chamber is up and coming, as you now know. It runs from Cutler Bay
mhm.
all the way to Key West.
Just north of Cuba
Right.
is
Right.
what he
So
says.
Yeah.
South Dade Chamber covers everything,
Yeah.
and it's what great thing about it is South Dade Chamber. South Dade people used to think down in Homestead. No,
Mhm.
it's all this
It's
community.
all the whole community.
That's been
community.
our focus, and you can attest to this. We are not just Cutler Bay, Palmetto Bay, or Florida City or Homestead. We're the South Dade. We need to work together to make sure we can go ahead and get our transportation fixed. We got to bring jobs down there.
Yes.
We're
That's
working
the
real
biggest
hard
thing.
at that.
It's
That's
very
why I've been working hard with them, the Economic Development Council, any chamber, getting together. And it's like, all right, what can we do as a group rather than piecemeal? Because
right.
working together, we're going to get a lot more things done. We're going
Right.
to make a lot more noise. I need to know what I can do better to go ahead and attract businesses. What business do I need to attract? Do I have to go out there and talk to them in person? What do I need to do? And they're helping me navigate through that. So we're gonna do great things for the South Dade area without a doubt, especially with
Absolutely.
this group. You've been doing a great job, by the way. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much for
You
all
got a
you
hell of a
do.
team.
It's teamwork.
Kerry.
It's teamwork. It really is.
Let's close it out. Go
Okay.
ahead.
South Dade, we love you. We'll see you next week. Welcome, Fatima. It's glad that we're thrilled to have you with us. We can't wait to meet you in person one day very soon. Take it away.
Grant Miller here. Tim's doing a great job in Cutler Bay, but we've been friends forever through baseball, up and down. And hey, if you have a question, you're welcome to call him. His mobile phone's everywhere. You can reach him 724.
And people do, and I appreciate that. So keep it up. Whatever we can do to make the community better, let's work together and do it.
Let's do it.
Have a great day.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.